Well, good morning, everybody. Apologies if I confused anybody by accidentally originally setting the start time for 11 o'clock p.m. This is obviously 11:05 a.m. So apologies if you were caught unawares. But anyway, really all I wanted to do was just quickly draw attention to a couple of videos, recent videos. I'd have to thank Mario, who sent me an email. Mario sent me an email to say worth checking out a particular video that came out just a couple of days ago. So I've included the details of the video. I've included the link in the bottom. I will just quickly do this. I'm not going to actually play any of the videos. You can go away and play them. Plus, you've got to be careful when you play videos that you've got permission to do so. So all I'm doing is just alerting people to these particular videos, and hi Carl, and then you can go along and watch them. But I will show you what they, at least the thumbnail of them. At least I can do that. So hopefully that is working okay. Yes, that seems to be working okay. So Mario for Stratton, I hope I've got your name pronounced correctly there. Thank you for alerting me to this particular video. Stephen Avery, Expert Body Language and Behavioral Profile by the Behavior Panel. You'll find the link in the description below. So just click on that little arrow just below the video. You'll find the link to the description to that one. It's about a 50-minute long video which covers 4 people's views on body language and behavior to do with Stephen Avery. Interesting, one of the guys who sounds very British but apparently has been in Canada for a long time, he's completely new to the case. He had never seen Making a Murderer before, and hasn't seen Making a Murderer, so comes to it without any opinion whatsoever. The 2 other guys, they've got a program together to do with, again, analyzing body language and behavior, and they're joined by one other fellow. So four guys got together to do a chat about the body language, and these are experts in this field of body language and interrogations. So thank you, Mario. Definitely worth going and having a look at this particular video. You'll notice immediately above is the latest from Milbillie that came out just a few hours ago. Very, very interesting, with the somebody seeing somebody in the river, one of the twin rivers, clearly looking for something with waders and a dark green car nearby. Was Andy Colburn or somebody else busy looking for keys? Who knows? And hi, Jojo Merry. And, so very interesting stuff, isn't it? When you get these let's just close that just for a moment. When you get these experts looking at the case, in fairness, I would have to say that we can't place too much emphasis on body language reading and stuff like that. It is misleading. Not everybody's the same. Hi there. I don't recall. It's it can't be an exact science. What it can do, though, is that you can look back on a case, and experts such as Jeff Langley here in the UK can once we know what actually happened, then he can look back and he can point out all the aspects of somebody's deception. I think there's quite a few people. Hi, T1. Let me show you a couple of other videos that I've come across. Stephen Avery, expert body language and behavioral profile. So that's one video worth checking out, as is, of course, Milbillie's recent one. But of course, we've also got the face body reading. This one here. Which, by the accent of the person, the expert doing the talking, sounds Germanic, certainly foreign. And this is an excellent video, body language of the Stephen Avery case. And he looks at the body language not just of Mike and Ryan, but also he does one on Steve and also one on, I believe, Karen Holbach. So well worth checking out face body reading. As I say, I've left the link below. However, what I really wanted to get onto, of course, was to say, please go and check out these two videos. Again, the link is there from Crime and Investigation UK. This is where the news reporter talks about his interview with Maxine Carr. And then here on the TLC UK channel, here is Jeff Langley talking about the deception of this particular fella here, Ian Huntley. As I say, well worth going and checking out what they have to say. And if you're not familiar with the Soham murders, then that would help. But very briefly, back in August the 4th of 2002 in Soham, which is in Cambridgeshire in the UK, Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman were murdered by Ian Huntley, who immediately inserted himself into the search investigation. Very similar to Ryan and Mike. And it was Maxine Carr that in an interview, she read a card that one of the girls had given her at the end of term, and she referred to her in the past tense. She was a nice girl, in exactly the same way as Mike Holbach, when Teresa is only missing, refers to a grieving process. Now, as some of you have noticed, I've made it quite clear to a certain cartoon character, Wally, Wallpecker Wally, that they've anything else that they post on the comments will be removed. I will simply remove their comment until they agree to come on and talk respectfully and sensibly about the case. And so I put that, I would have a lot of questions for them that Ken Kratz avoided. Number one, why is Mike Holbach grieving when Teresa is still only a missing person? And I've even had people say, it's just a slip of the tongue, and maybe he's fearing the worst. I say nonsense. The family of Teresa, the grieving family, well, not then grieving because they didn't know what had happened to her. We still don't know what happened to her, but the family is the last people to accept that something tragic has happened to somebody. So this whole notion that somehow he suspects the worst and he's grieving because she's simply missing, I call BS on anybody that puts forward that argument. It simply isn't the case. And as I've said many, many times before, had the missing person been related to Steve, and Steve and Avery had used the term, or the grieving process could last days, the press would have immediately have jumped down on Steve and Avery. The police, just like has happened in the Maxine Carr, Ian Huntley case, as soon as she referred to the past tense, the reporters and the police immediately knew that they knew something about this case. Anyway, is that all? No. As I say, check out your Milbillie video. Very good as well. Interesting. For the sake of balance and fairness, we like to be, don't we? We like to be fair and balanced about this. Let's have a look at somebody who puts forward the state's point of view. The fact that body language, etc., could prove that Stephen Avery is guilty. And of course, we have an expert who is as qualified in body language as of course, Ken Kratz is in crime scene investigation. Let's have a look at this one. This really does. It's worth showing you this from the contrast point of view of, look, you've got all these experts coming forward saying this looks bad, this looks bad. What have the state got? Wow, fantastic. Jim Bray, Stephen Avery, eyes prove he's guilty. Wow, what a stunner, Jim Bray. What a stunner. I will never forget the look in Stephen Avery's eyes when he was being brought into the courthouse. Manitowoc County Board Chairman Jim Bray wrote in an email to sheriff's detectives, "I know a person cannot be convicted based on that," which obviously for you is a shame, "but I made up my mind that day. Avery was guilty." City of Manitowoc Police Chief Nick Reamer sent an email to Sheriff's Lieutenant Andy Colburn proclaiming his disgust with the Netflix series. Colburn and now retired Sheriff's Detective Jim Lenk came under fire in the Netflix series. The show revisited the possibility that Lenk and Colburn ensured Avery's arrest and conviction in the death of Teresa Halbach by fabricating evidence in the disappearance of Teresa Halbach, a freelance photographer. I'm not going to go through the whole lot. Read that at your leisure, at your pleasure, even. And get back to me. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the contrast, if you like, between, I say, experts who, we cannot, as I said, we can't. In a way, Jim Bray is right in the fact that you can't use body language as evidence. But what you can do is you can look at it retrospectively and you can see what's going on. But certainly for Mike Halbach, for his grieving process, and the fact that it could be days, I really don't know what to make of that. Does he know that Teresa is dead? It would certainly seem so, but as I say, the family would be in a terrible state of shock if if his sister, if their daughter has been murdered. But the grieving process could last days. this is one of the things that, of course, leads to huge speculation that it isn't actually Teresa's remains that were found and handed back to the family. And when you've got comments like that, which, bad as they are, it's equally bad that the journalists didn't pick up on this in the same way that here in the UK journalists immediately picked up on what Maxine Carr was saying. And obviously police investigating. Why hasn't Mike Holbach been asked to explain what had happened? Well, yeah, it could be that the family knew exactly what had happened, before Karen Holbach, even before Karen Holbach has to put in that missing person's phone call. Again, if you check out the Face Body Reading channel, I'm sure, as I say, this German-sounding fella talks in one of the videos about the rest of the Holbach family in particular, and in particular Karen Holbach. Anyway, I think that's really all I wanted to go through. As I say, you should find all the links in the comment, in the description below, to the behaviour panel. That's the one that Mario alerted me to. Milbillie's latest about the turkey hunters that saw somebody in the river looking for something. Could that something be keys to the RAV4 that's parked nearby? Certainly, isn't it interesting that these turkey hunters felt the need to phone Manitowoc and then obviously have the call transferred to Calumet? Isn't it interesting that they felt the need to let law enforcement know about what they saw? And as I say, check out the Crime and Investigation UK video about Maxine Carr. You'll actually hear her reading out this card that she got from Holly or Jessica. And then also check out the TLC UK with expert Jeff Langley. And so this goes back to 2002, this case. But I think in the TLC, it's a case of going back 10 years later to have a look at what was going on. And then, as I say, just for the sake of balance, just to show that we're fair, there we've also got Jim Bray, the expert on eyes. But of course, we all know, don't we, that Australians are the experts on eyes, because every time one Australian meets another one, they immediately go, good eye, good eye, good eye. So anyway, looking forward to catching up with Dr. Silkman tomorrow. This time tomorrow, it should be on for a chat, and we'll catch you then. Bye for now.